Have you ever told yourself at some point in time in your life that you're over something that somebody did to you, or you're over a particular timeline or time window in your life, and you're so convinced that you're okay, only for you to stumble across that person, or maybe hear a song or drive down a street and you get triggered back to that place? Literally, you find yourself right back in that place and you really begin to feel all the emotions that you felt then. Sounds familiar? Yes, this happened to me as well. Hello there. Welcome to the CNTRD Woman, a space for the woman learning to live rooted in Christ, grounded in truth, and aligned in purpose. I'm Toyosi, and I'm happy to have you here today. So today we're going to be talking about the weight that you have been carrying, or should I say rather, the weight that we often carry as women. And if we're all going to be honest with ourselves, while our burdens may weigh differently, the truth is we all have one or two that we are carrying. And if we're going to get to the bottom of it, at the foundation of the weight that we often carry on our shoulders, those weights don't come just randomly. They don't just randomly drop on our shoulders. They usually come from a place of life experiences, right? Place of unresolved trauma, unresolved issues, or challenges that we have not necessarily grown past. We may have lived through them and past them, but we have not grown from them, or we've not resolved it within our mental and our emotional and even sometimes our spiritual minds, right? And so those things often hold us back. And before we go any further in this conversation, I want to say this to you. Your life experiences are meant to teach you, not stay with you. Experiences are meant to be life lessons. They're not meant to be carried through life. And I believe that's where a lot of us usually get it wrong. Even I've done it too in the past, where we experience a thing, and rather than sitting at the feet of the Lord to help us learn a lesson or two from it, and also give him room to refine us from it, what we tend to do is just to forge ahead with that experience through life, and we're carrying that on our back. And the more and more we add on to that, more experiences, the heavier we become, the slower we become in even progressing through life. I remember for me, the moment I knew that I had to change this it actually started, like, I believe, a few months before I lost my mom. Now, of course, dealing with that grief, as I've shared in previous videos, magnified and made me really sit still 100% and totally. But the Lord had been nudging my shoulder that, Toyosi, you're really carrying a lot and you're not really bringing this to me. This was like maybe sometime around 2023, mid 2023. I just felt like my shoulder was just so tight. My body was literally telling me what my mind and my soul was dealing with. And the way it manifested in my body wasn't just about the physical tightness, because you can just say, well, Toyosi, go get a massage. No. It was that I knew for sure that this tightness I was feeling on my shoulders wasn't just a physical thing. Because as of 2023, I wasn't even really as active with my fitness journey either. So, and I was sleeping quite well, I would like to believe. So that was not what it was. I just knew in my heart of hearts that this is a symbol. This is my body telling me something about the fact that I have not dealt with a few things that I've experienced in the past. I even know that during that time window as well, the Lord gave me the opportunity to stumble across people that I had not seen in years, people that had, hurt me in one shape or form, or experiences that I had not really dealt with, right? So whenever I would see those people, I experienced some kind of, I guess, discomfort, unsettledness rather, and anxiety. Have you ever experienced that? Have you ever told yourself at some point in time in your life that you're over something that somebody did to you, or you're over a particular timeline or time window in your life, and you're so convinced that you're okay, only for you to stumble across that person, or maybe hear a song or drive down a street and you get triggered back to that place? Literally, you find yourself right back in that place and you really begin to feel all the emotions that you felt then. Sounds familiar? Yes, this happened to me as well. And in that moment, the Lord began to just show me that, Toyosi, all you did was walk away from those situations. You never really dealt with it. Yes, you transitioned physically from that experience, but you actually never really allowed your spirit man to evolve from it. You never allowed your spirit man to heal from it. You never sat down with me to really talk about it. You never sat down with me to really unpack what that experience was like for you. And you thought just by walking away from it that you could move on, but all you've done is just carry the baggage with you. All you've done is just carry the luggage with you. And that's why you are mentally stuck in the things that you're trying to do in this new season I'm calling you into. That's why you are physically and mentally tired, where you're not as motivated, where you're struggling with your creativity. You're struggling with, everything that you should naturally come much easier to you. I hope this is resonating with somebody, right? And so again, that's why I wanted to talk to us about this today, because us as women, especially, we are very adaptive beings. We know how to just pivot and keep things going, which is a strength, but we must learn how to use that strength the right way. A lot of us as women, we have literally carried our pain like it's a part of our identity. We have carried betrayal like it's our story, and we are carrying disappointment like it's permanent. And it should not be that way. What was supposed to be a life lesson has now become luggage. And it is now slowing us down in so many ways, mentally, physically, emotionally. And it's making our journey harder and slower. Jesus said in the book of John that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but I come that you may have life and you may have it in abundance. You may have it abundantly. And abundance is not just about financial abundance. Abundance is to live a fulfilled life, for full life. He came to restore us back to the original plan when the earth was created, when God created man. And the truth is, if we're going to be honest with ourselves, a lot of us are not living to our fullest potentials. We're not even living to the half of it, if we're going to be honest with ourselves. And most times, the reason why we're not is because we are carrying baggage. We are not learning from our experiences, but rather we are just carrying them on with us into the next chapters of our lives. And it should not be so. The mistake a lot of us are making in our life's journey is we are walking into new seasons with old wounds. And we expect to actually reap the fullness of that new season. We keep praying to God for elevation, clarity, direction, but yet we're holding on to the weight of what God already delivered us from. You'll find yourself, as a 35-year-old woman, a 40-year-old woman, still living the pain of the heartbreak of someone maybe when you were 18, 20, 25. And God is saying, I have delivered you from that. And you're asking God for a breakthrough. Maybe you're already even married and you're asking God for restoration in your marriage, for clarity and direction. Or maybe you're asking God to bring a spouse your way, but you're still holding on to the heartbreak of yesterday. Maybe it was something that, happened to you in your childhood. Maybe, a family member, says something to you that always stuck with you. And you're saying to God, I want to become the fullness of who you say I am, but you're still holding on to the pain of yesterday. God is pulling you into new seasons, but you're bringing the wounds into that new chapter. And yet we all wonder why we feel stagnant. We all wonder why we feel stuck. We all wonder why we feel, not as fulfilled. Let me say something that I hope shifts your perspective. Just because you survived it does not mean you were supposed to carry it. Just because you survived the trauma, the pain, the betrayal, the disappointment, does not mean you have to carry it around you or on you like a badge of honor. But we hear it all the time as women. We've been told, strong woman, Women are very resilient. Women are very brave. Women can adapt and all that. Yes, those things are great, but those things are not meant to be excuses or utilized for us to continue to live in an unhealthy pattern of not being able to evolve and move past bad seasons. And when I began to listen to my body and also pay attention to what the Holy Spirit was saying to me and showing me about me really not really healing from my experiences, but just carrying them through life, I learned a couple of things. And the summary of it all was that this was costing me. It was costing me my purpose. It was costing me my peace. It was costing me my joy. It was costing me my creativity. It was costing me the fullness of who God wanted me to be. And I could just imagine that heaven was probably not even, I don't want to say heaven was crying over me, but I feel like heaven was probably looking down on me saying, this girl has so much to do. And she's just so limited because she doesn't even realize how stuck she is due to her inability to really grow past these experiences. I did not know. And the same is for you as well. While you may feel like you're functioning, you may feel like you're existing and you're still okay, I'm here to tell you that not healing from your experiences and holding on to those experiences instead of learning from them is actually costing you. It is costing you to show up to relationships and circumstances guarded instead of being open. It's costing you to operate from a place of fear instead of a place of faith. It's making you sabotage opportunities because you expect disappointment even before it comes. It is causing you to feel exhausted even when you are rested. I know I'm not alone in this. I have spoken to so many women, even offline before I even relaunched CNTRD Woman, to know enough that this is a thing, this is a real thing. And it's not God's desire for us women to live this way, for anybody for that matter, to live this way. And it has to change. And let's be real, it even tells on your body. You should not be 35 looking 42. You should not be 35 looking 47. A lot of us don't even look our age because we are carrying so much weight and so much baggage. And God is saying, no, I desire for people to look at you and they see so much lightness on you that they even want to even know more about the God that is helping you, the God that is holding you together, the God that is glowing through you, the light that is illuminating through you. You should feel light. You should not feel like you are deteriorating. You should feel like you are becoming. You should feel like you're evolving on a day-to-day basis as a child of God. But that's what baggage does to us. It does it to the soul. It does it to the mind. It does it to the body. Stress weighs on you. Unhealed wounds will drain you. And it will ultimately show up in how you think. It will show up in how you love. And it will show up in how you live. Now let's talk about how we can go past the baggage, right? I have a couple of pointers that I wrote down in my notebook that I'm going to be sharing with you. Number one, it's okay for you to remember what happened. You can remember that, but you don't have to continue to relive how you felt about what happened. You can carry the wisdom without carrying the weight. Did you hear that? You can carry the lesson that you learned from that experience and keep it in the back of your mind. You're not meant to forget, but don't carry the weight, the burden, the emotional impact on yourself. Number three, not everything that happened to you deserves a permanent place in your life. Life has seasons for a reason. There are chapters. You carry the lessons from each chapter, from one chapter to another. You don't have to keep your mind permanently in that place and in that season. Number four, some things were only meant to pass through, not settle in. Let me even take a pause here to speak to the one person that may be angry with God right now, saying, why did you let me experience that as a child? Why did you allow me to be bullied? Why did you allow me to feel insignificant? Why did you allow that one teacher to say those words to me? Why did you allow that person to molest me? Why did you allow that person to do X, Y, and Z? Why did you allow this man to break my heart? I prayed to you about this. I fasted to you about this. And this still happened to me. Lord, I looked onto you. I always called upon you. Yet disappointment still came. Why? I'm here to tell you that some things happened to you and also for you. It may not make sense to you right now, but I'm telling you that those things are meant to just pass through your life for a purpose. Don't park your vehicle. Don't park the vehicle of your life there. I mean, again, a more recent example is me. In my grieving, you know, I don't know where I found the strength, but I just told the Lord, I will not curse you. I will not question you. I will not doubt you. I'm still going to worship you as sovereign. But there are some people that don't know how to accept that or come to that resolution, right? And to be honest, even for me, I know that my coming to that resolution was not by my might or my power. It was literally just by the Spirit of God in me because I engaged with the Lord throughout the process. And that's why I'm saying also that your experience and your pain and your betrayal, whatever it is that you're currently carrying that you cannot let go of, you cannot let go of this on your own. To continue to try to do it on your own is going to continue to yield futile results. You must engage the Holy Spirit. You must engage the Lord. If that means you have to go into your closet to cry out to Him and take yourself back to that place and say, Jesus, this happened to me. And then begin to give Him room to also show up in that experience and to also begin to show you that though you went through that experience, He was right there with you. He never left you. He was always watching over you because He's always been mindful of you, even in the midst of that experience. And that would ultimately give you some perspective from His vantage point that would help you begin to heal past that experience itself. I want to say this and I'm going to wrap up. This one's going to be a tough one. We all have to get to a point in our lives where we say, Healing is our decision. To heal is a decision. No one can make it for you. No one can arrive there until you're ready to arrive there. But I guarantee you, when you make that decision, healing is possible. Keyword is healing, which means it's a continual thing. It's a walk. It's a journey. You have to give yourself the grace to do that work. You have to give yourself the grace and the opportunity to walk it out with the Lord. You deserve it. And the Lord desires that for you. Do not allow tragedy to rob you of that opportunity. Yes, we can pray to the Lord about it, but we also have to participate. We also have to allow Him in. We have our role to play. You may say, Toyosi, what do I do? How do I play my own role? Well, that looks like choosing forgiveness, for example, even when it's hard. That's been the story of my life. It looks like releasing the need for closure from people who would not give it to you. Some folks don't even know they've impacted your life the way you know they have. They don't even know they've hurt you, and you have to. And even if you were to tell them, they might just not have the capacity or the maturity or the conviction to admit they have. So you have to be willing to give yourself that closure. It can also look like letting go of the version of yourself that existed in survival mode while you were in that experience. Finally, it can look like trusting God enough to not carry what He already covered. Woo! Trusting God enough to carry what to not for you to not carry what He already covered. Everything that you've gone through in life, I want you to understand that Jesus gets it. If there's one person that went through the most painful experience, it was Jesus. Was it betrayal? He experienced it. Was it name calling? He experienced it. Was it being dishonored in His own home? He experienced it. But He still took all of that for you and I, and He went all the way to the cross for it. And He redeemed us and restored us back. So even if it doesn't make sense, even if all the points I gave to you on this, so far, you feel like you cannot achieve that, this is one thing I want you to carry with you. To know that everything Jesus has done has covered it all. There are times where I still, feel emotional. I still feel down. I'm not telling you that I'm 100% okay, but when I do, and I just don't have the answers, my automatic resolve is just to rest in the fact that God covers me. God has me covered, and I'll be okay. Here's the final truth that I want you to take with you also as to why you must let this baggage go. The journey of life for most of us is very far. And if you're going to travel very far successfully, it is essential that you travel light. You have to drop the baggage. The last thing you want to happen to you is for you to arrive at your destination with aching ankles, broken knees, a sore back, an aching shoulder, simply because you were carrying too much. It's not just about you arriving at a destination. It's about you arriving at your destination well. That is another reason why you must let the baggage go. A lot of us are asking God for acceleration in life. Well, God is asking you to release. If you want to travel faster, you must travel light. If you want to accelerate, then you have to drop the weight. That is the only way you're going to move faster. Again, we can pray to God about a lot of things, but we also have a responsibility to play our part as well. So today I want you to ask yourself, what am I still holding on to or carrying that I'm supposed to release? Take a second, pause here, and think about those things. If you have to get a journal to write it down on paper, go ahead and do that. Write those things down. And then one by one, I want you to be bold enough to begin to put it down. And not just put it down, but put it down at the feet of Jesus. Not tomorrow, not eventually. Do it now, right here in this very moment. Do not give your mind the opportunity to psych you out of doing this by telling yourself you're going to do this later. You owe this to yourself. Do it right now. Because the version of you that God is calling in this new season, she is not overburdened. She is not moving heavy. Rather, she is moving free, healed, and light. That version of you is waiting on you on the other side of your healing. As I mentioned at the start of this conversation, your life experience can become life lessons, but they should never become life companions. You should not be carrying it along with you. It is time to let go and evolve. If this message or the topic for today resonated with you, I want to ask you for a favor. Share this with another woman that you know may be carrying a thing or two that needs to let go, that they need to let go of. And also, if you're currently not following me, make sure you're doing so on all my social platforms. I'm still being in the description, and also on the screen as well if you're watching this via YouTube. And of course, do not forget to give this a like. I want to thank you for listening to this or watching this in wherever part of the world you are doing so from. I really appreciate you taking the time today, and I hope you've taken a thing or two from this episode. Until next time, I'm Toyosi, and remain anchored.